In this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about 5 lessons I learned as a first-year entrepreneur. What's up? My name's Danny Cooper, and over the past year or so, I've been running and operating a basketball academy based outside of Philadelphia. In this video, I'm gonna talk about all the things that I've learned and everything in between. So the first thing I'm gonna get you guys started with is something is better than nothing. What do I mean by that? All the time, myself included, we can talk and deliberate about ideas. What content should we post? What packages should we offer? What drills should we do? But I'm here to say, after a year of learning, just doing something is better than talking about it and doing nothing. Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna be good when you start. So once you learn to accept that you're gonna suck at first and just start it, anything is better than nothing. Over the past year or so, we've changed a bunch of times, whether in terms of our drills, we've changed our packages and how we offer our monthly memberships. We've changed the times of our gym and our academy. So just by doing something though, it allowed us to then figure out how to get better, figure out how to improve. So that has been a big key for us. The second one kind of ties alongside that, which is adaptability is key. Like I said, our academy times, which is our group workouts that run Monday through Friday, have changed probably 5 to 7 times. The first year or so, we had a group on Sunday. Now we don't have Sunday, we have Monday through Friday. So I think without trying that and getting customer insights, getting feedback from what was working, what days and times work for people, that allowed us to be adaptable. But had we been not willing to change and been stuck in our ways, I don't think we'd be as successful and have 80 monthly members in only 16 months. So I think being adaptable and not being afraid to change when something's not working, and when a customer gives you an insight, being open-minded to hearing what they have to say, not necessarily changing because they say something, but just being open-minded and willing to adapt and change in that regard. The third thing that I would say that I've learned over the last year is managing people, right? Managing customers, managing your players, managing people that work with you. This can be very difficult. Number one, because everybody has a different personality and everybody responds to things differently. So maybe one of my players responds by constructive criticism and really getting on them and being hard on them. But maybe another player, they don't like being called out in front of the group. You gotta pull them aside and you gotta, tell them quietly what they can do better. Maybe they get embarrassed when they get called out. So really just learning how to manage different personalities and different people was probably the biggest challenge. Now from the customer and parent standpoint, that's also the same thing. We have some parents that will watch all of their kids' workouts and be a really good basketball parent and kind of be supportive and cheer them on and not be disruptive. Then we have other parents who will kind of make faces and make it really difficult for their kid in that session. So learning how to deal with those parents as well, having certain conversations, whether over text or in person, kind of talking about certain etiquette things and stuff like that. That's also been a challenge. And then with people that work with me, Nate and Jake, if you guys are familiar with me, you know who they are, learning how to have conversations with them and not micromanaging. In the beginning a lot with Nate, I would kind of micromanage, and he's gonna laugh when he sees this probably. But if there was something wrong with a flyer or something wrong with a video, I would always kind of make a comment. And recently I've tried to make a big effort, just kind of be totally hands off, because he's now way better than me at this anyway. So just kind of letting him rock and letting him do his thing, I think has been a big thing for Nate and I. And then Jake kind of is good with taking feedback, and Jake wants me to kind of get on him, but also letting Jake kind of be free as well. I think as leaders and I guess owners, so to speak, sometimes you want to put your hands into everything and you think your way is the best way. But the biggest thing I've learned over the last year is that even if you think your way is the best at the time, letting people have full ownership and make mistakes through doing it their way might actually be the best way that they learn. So I think allowing for short-term error. For example, we had one intern in the past where he was teaching a closeout a certain way, and I really didn't agree with it. And I butted in immediately, and I feel like I embarrassed him, and looking back on it, it was not the right thing to do. And I should have, in hindsight, let him fail and let him, teach it that way, and then maybe pulled him aside like I was talking about and mentioned a different way to do it. So with Jake, one of our lead academy trainers, I've really made an effort to let him kind of fail, let him do it his own way. Not make him an exact replica of me, but have him create his own style. And I think over the past week, Jake has really risen, and he's starting to become an incredible trainer. And had I been so hands-on, I don't know if he would be so far along. But if you're a trainer out there, if you're a business owner out there, that's a lesson to not worry so much about short-term gratification and everything being perfect right away. Think long-term, think 6, 12 months, think 3, 5 years, because I think that's where you're gonna see the biggest results. So all in all, in terms of that, managing people, just being aware that everybody's different, being aware that you don't know everything, and trying to surround yourself with people who are better than you at certain things. So like Nate is now way better than me at the content stuff. Jake is becoming a really good leader running the kids groups. So trying to surround yourself with people who can do things as good, if not better than you, and then really allowing them to do those things. And then in terms of players and parents, really understanding who you're leading, who you're talking to at the time, and then deciphering whether you can call them out in front of the group, you can pull them aside, and how to manage that. So still working on that every single day. I hope I gave you guys a couple things that could help you there. Number 4 is huge. Live well below your means. If you are a first-time entrepreneur especially, and I know if you guys have already started a business, you know this, when you're first starting out, unless you come from a wealthy background or you get a lot of venture capital money, or even if you do, you need to live well below your means. You need to, Nate and I talk about this all the time, shop at discounted grocery stores, shop at Aldi, $60 to $70 every 2 weeks, and live off pasta and chicken and rice. Because at this young of an age, when you're starting a business, number one, you're able to live off that kind of food. Like, you don't need gourmet food, you don't need to eat out. And I think living below your means allows you to take these risks and really go after starting a business, which is very hard. I don't know the exact statistic, but it's probably like 3 out of 5 businesses fail in the first 3 years, right? So if you want to survive after that 3-year mark, and we're only 16 months in, you need to have a lot of extra cash flow for that rainy day, right? If all of your academy memberships cancel on you and you have 0 revenue coming in, are you going to be able to survive and just live? So having that 3 to 6 months emergency fund built up, and being willing to sacrifice not going out to eat, not going to sporting events, not going to concerts. So really for the first year or so of the business, I would say I pretty much lived. Obviously I had a little bit of fun here and there because you got to get a break here and there, but for the most part, discounted groceries, and didn't buy anything, didn't buy many gifts for family members or friends, which is a hard thing. But I think sometimes when you're starting a business, you got to put yourself first, and you got to think long term, and you got to say, am I willing to sacrifice and quote unquote eat shit now and suffer now, so that in 5, 10, 15 years, I'll be able to, reap the benefits of my labor. So that's what I would say, really being okay with that, living below your means. And then the 5th and final one, which I think is the most important, is taking care of yourself first. Now, especially when running a service business, you are trying to appease everybody. You're trying to, be there for them, especially as a basketball trainer. You gotta be there any day, anytime. My biggest thing is your best abilities, your availability. As I've learned, and I'm 8 years into basketball training now, if you don't put yourself first, you're not gonna be able to put the best product forward anyway. So for me, for example, if I take a run or I do yoga and I take care of my body first, I already know that my workouts later in the day are gonna be more successful. Because number one, I'm gonna have more energy, I'm gonna be more confident because I know I took care of my body and I committed to doing something and I did it. But also just knowing that I'm working to better myself. I think as a business owner, you can't get on your players or your employees or people that work with you to improve themselves and be better if you're not constantly trying to better yourself. So I think taking care of yourself first, and I think that's actually selfless, because you're ultimately then going to be able to help more people. So hope that's making sense, but making time for yourself. If you need an off day or two, go down to the beach and don't work for a couple of days. I think that's okay. I think a lot of times entrepreneurship gets glorified as the 12 to 16 hour days nonstop. But for me personally, I think that can lead to burnout. And if I have, a month or two stretch where I'm not as productive, or if I need a couple day break, I think I've been good at not judging myself. And over the long-term view, 16 months, I still have a lot of energy and I still have a lot left in the tank. So I think because I'm building this for 10, 20, 30 years and I'm not looking for some short-term goal, I've been willing to, be patient and not need to get everything done in 1 day or 1 week or 1 month. So that's what I would say. Put yourself first. If you need a couple days, really be kind to yourself and give yourself that break. So I hope this stuff helped. I know I was rambling a little bit, but I'm gonna try to do a lot more of this stuff where I kind of just sit down in the mic, unstructured, unedited, and just talk to you guys about my journey as a business owner. So again, to sum it up, something is better than nothing. I think just start, right? Massive imperfect action is a good way to think about it. It's never going to be perfect. There's never a good way to start. Just do something. Number two, being adaptable. You're going to have to change your times. You're going to have to change the way that maybe the facilities that you're at, and you're going to have to be able to adjust on the fly and be okay with that. Not everything's going to go in this linear path. It's going to be up and down, up and down. Number three, managing people. Know that everybody that you're dealing with, whether it's the customer, the parent, an employee, everybody responds to things differently, and being adaptable in that sense where you can grow as a leader and you know how to talk to people and really empower them and not micromanage. I think that's something I'm still working on, but something I've gotten better at. Live well below your means. This might be the most important, honestly. You need to not fake it until you make it. You need to live well below your means, and that will allow you some extra flexibility. And honestly, mentally, when you know you have that extra cushion of $5,000, $10,000 that's in the bank, where if everything went to hit the fan and shit hit the fan and you need that extra money, you're gonna be able to survive. So I think that's super important just from a mental standpoint, knowing that you'll be okay if everything dies. Whereas if you're kind of spending what you're making every month, you're living that month to month, knowing with that anxiety of you gotta make stuff happen or else, you know, you're gonna be done. So have that little cushion, it'll help a lot. Last one, take care of yourself first. Make sure you're getting your workouts in. Make sure you are prioritizing your own mental and physical health, because ultimately, especially in a service business, you're gonna need to take care of yourself first in order to best help others. So hope that helped. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this video, and if you're still watching, you're a real one. I really appreciate you, and a lot more of this to come. Let me know in the comments a topic you'd want to see next, and if you like this style of video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more. Appreciate you guys. Peace. Till next time.